Hi, everyone. This is Coach David with your Tuesday leadership tip. My apologies if I sound a little bit under the weather. I caught a cold and fighting through this. Go figure, it's almost May and it feels like middle of winter for me. In any case, I wanted to share with you this week's tip around goal setting. For those of you who I may not have shared with already, I'm working towards my doctorate in business administration, and I'm really excited about one of the courses I have this term. It's on organizational behavior, and I believe there's going to be a lot of great content that I'll be able to share with you over the next coming months. Part of this program involves reading a lot of research, and it was some interesting research this past week on goal setting and the goal setting theory. So I've done my best in this email and in this video to try and summarize the key points, some of which might be well known to you, some of the stuff might be new, but hopefully will reinforce how to strategically approach setting goals with your team. In any case, just what surprised me about this is just the history of goal setting. I did not realize that if you just go back not that long ago to the 60s, the study of motivation was not really considered very respected in the field of psychology. That people thought that motivation was done from external things like the carrot or the stick, the punish people or reinforce people, and that's what provided motivation. But it wasn't looked at from an internal aspect. Well, now, obviously, decades later, and tons of research that's been done, people realize that motivation can come from within, can be very powerful. And one of the powerful tools is goal setting. So what they found is that goal setting affects things in four different ways. The first is, you direct attention and effort. You focus people on what's most important, and it moves everything else that's irrelevant out of the way. Another thing, it has an energizing function. So higher goals lead to greater effort than low goals. It provides that energy. Persistence, it also affects. So goals prolong effort. People work faster. They work more intensely. They also, the last point is, they lead to goals lead to discovery, increased interest, application of knowledge. So overall, there's a lot of benefits to goal setting. And another part is there's a lot of benefits to setting challenging goals. They found that setting the most difficult goals is what produced the highest levels of effort and performance. Now, there's one caveat to that, and that's goals where they went outside of somebody's ability, their limits of their ability, or when their commitment lapsed. Then the goal performance went down. So you want to have the highest or most difficult goals set, but you also want to make sure that it's within somebody's ability limits, and it's also commitment is there. And some of the things that help with commitment is, number one, how important the goal is to the person, and number two, their self-confidence, their belief that they can achieve the goal. And so in some of the ways to build confidence, they mentioned making a public commitment. This impacts somebody's integrity, how they feel they look in other people's eyes. And then if you have leaders that communicate an inspiring vision around the goal, or provide a strong purpose, or give good rationale explanation for the goal, those things also build importance. And then there's a lot of talk about allowing input on deciding on the goal. And they said how this stimulates the exchange of information and strategies for hitting the goal. So when people are involved in the strategizing on how to hit the goal, performance went way up. And then, of course, the last thing is monetary incentives. Obviously, we know monetary incentives work. They build importance. But one thing about monetary incentives is they said if the goal is a really, really difficult goal, an all or nothing payout can have a negative impact. So if you've got something really tough, maybe there's different levels of incentive based on how well their performance is versus a succeed fail payout. And as I mentioned, self-confidence is the second part to this. So it's making the goal important to them and also building their self-confidence. Self-confidence, well, providing adequate training, role modeling, they mentioned, and then you as a manager communicating confidence in your people that they can attain the goal. They talk about transformational leaders. They provide inspiration. They provide mental stimulation. So, and then another key part to that is providing feedback. You want to be keeping them in touch with how they're progressing towards their goals, giving them feedback on what they're doing. And when people find out they're below target, they normally will increase their effort or they'll try a new strategy. So combination of goals plus feedback is much more impactful than goals alone. Last part, there's a few things in the email I wanted to share where they showed examples of the research that was done. And the big thing is this. There is a ton of studies out there that have confirmed a significant correlation between goal setting and organizational profitability. It's one of the most clear-cut things out there. So think about your team, think about yourself, think about what goals have you set, and how you've used some of these strategies that I put in these emails, and maybe where there's some opportunities there to refine or tweak. The last thing on there is an example about how they utilize goals and a training session to get employees to be better at coming into work, which I know some of us as managers deal with some of our employees. In any case, that is my Tuesday leadership tip of the day. I hope you had a great finish to the month of April and that we all start off strong as we hit the new month. Take care.